All right. Welcome back. Well, you've already seen the thumbnail to the video, so I ain't gotta really explain much. Kanye did an interview with DJ Academics. I just found this out yesterday while I was uploading that. Actually, no, it was 2 days ago. I'm pretty sure that he did the interview, and I don't know, man. We gotta start treating Kanye like them people on the side of the street that are just high out of their mind, just yelling random things out loud to everybody. You just gotta keep walking past them at this point. We gotta treat him like a hobo, unfortunately. But you know, his brain doesn't have an intellectual thought in it. So now we gotta keep now we just gotta ignore him. You can either ignore him or we could try and help him out, but sometimes they don't really want help. And it appears Kanye doesn't really want help. He just wants to keep rambling on. Anyways, let's see what Fantano has to say. Highly respectable figure in, I would say, music in general, not just hip hop, or not really hip hop. People, everyone has a problem with somebody in I guess in the space of talking about hip hop. So it's whatever. I know a couple Kanye fans gonna be on this video. I know y'all gonna make some dumbass comments like I did last time. Go ahead, keep going. Thank you for the watch. Thank you for the view. Thank you for watching. You're only helping me out. But other than that, let's get into this.
Hey everyone, Anthony Fantano here, internet's busiest music nerd. Hope you're doing well. Right now, what it's about time for is a Kanye update. We pretty much sidestepped addressing his most recent...
Oh man, and he finally admitted that he was jealous of Kendrick Lamar in this interview too. I watched it like a couple times. I was trying to figure out what was going on. His train of thought, like when he starts talking, he'll go along for it for like 30 seconds, and then into the next thing he'll just flip. He'll just flip to a whole nother subject altogether. So I don't know what's wrong with him. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's schizo. I don't know what it is.
Recent series of Twitter meltdowns, not because there weren't any tweets of note that came out of it.
And this one killed me on the left with Tyler the Creator. I don't know what's going on with him, man. I don't know. He says Travis betrayed him. Virgil let him down. Maybe he's just doing it. And you see a couple artists do this sometimes too. Like they'll just self-sabotage out of nowhere. And maybe that's just his thing. Maybe that's his thing. Maybe he's always been a contrarian, but he's never gone to this far of an extent to show you that he's been a contrarian. So I don't know what it is with him.
But for the most part, it just kind of seemed like a worsened state of everything that we already discussed on this channel vis-a-vis the Twitter meltdown previous to that. Basically, more out-of-touch ramblings, more slurs, more swastikas, just more off-the-rails commentary. Also, a really disgusting tweet about Jay-Z.
Oh my God, yeah.
Beyonce's children. Really just too many tweets to cover in the...
Lost all respect from anybody. I guarantee you, the people that's going to be in my comment section, there's going to be a couple, people that actually have some sense and actually want to talk about the situation. But, there's going to be the trolls in here, you little white supremacists, I should say. I see a lot of Hispanics in that too for some reason. But, y'all have already shown y'all ass this year. I ain't going to say too much about that. Y'all getting y'all wives deported because y'all get into a little dispute. But, that's y'all's thing. Anyway, let's keep going.
The whole shitstorm of posts. And I guess another reason I didn't really feel any pressure to talk about it is that a lot of my content up until this point really kind of like pulling apart Kanye's behaviors and statements and actions over the past year plus. I will say, as uneasy as I was to continue covering Kanye and his music, a big driver for me to continue doing that was that with a lot of what he was saying, the response that I was seeing to it was that there was a very intense and vocal group of fans and supporters that were agreeing with nearly everything that he was saying. And personally, I found that to be really...
It's white supremacists, bro. Of course they're going to go along with it. When Kanye was saying George Bush doesn't care about black people, they were upset. So now that he's switched into this whole other person who is clearly mentally unstable now, he's gone, man. And these people are eating it up. They're some of the dumbest people on earth. I don't know what's going on with that. And there's in my last field, I think there was more Spanish, Hispanic people. They're both, that was stupid. Hispanic people, there were more people in my Hispanic people in my comments like making these like agreeing with them. So I don't know what's going on with that. Nick Fuentes type people, I guess. I don't know. Kind of weird.
Concerning, especially since some of those morons may in fact cross over into, you know, my views and my algorithm too. So I thought it kind of important to debunk and tear down a lot of the stuff that he was sort of saying and normalizing. But I don't know, with that past tweet storm, it seemed like the tides started to really turn for once, and that Ye was really starting to embarrass himself and starting to make some people really second guess whether or not they still needed to be aboard the Kanye train, which I think ultimately is a good thing. But you know what? The thing about Kanye is that the man, whether you love him or hate him, he is an innovator. And just when you think he...
That's very true. That's very true. It doesn't matter what he does innovate. And currently he's innovating in the most dumbest way possible, but it's still innovating. I don't know how, but it still gets attention. It is what it is, man. That interview was the funniest shit I've ever seen. That shit was so funny. We gotta treat him like a hobo at this point. Just let him talk. Just let him talk. No one takes him seriously now. He's a meme. He's a meme now. For now on, for the rest of his career, he will be a meme.
He has done and said the worst, and
you're posting too much.
Basically reached the highest peak he possibly can when it comes to destroying his likability, his image, his career. He comes up with a new way to somehow make it worse. Enter this new on-camera interview he has done with DJ Academics while dressed fully in a... Can we show this on screen? Can we show this without this getting demonetized?
What the fuck is wrong with him?
He's in a Klansman robe.
Holy
hood
shit.
And all, and it's all black. And you can hear him heavily breathing and sweating, and just like his voice being muffled by the hood throughout the entirety of this damn interview.
One no rap album's better than Vulture's One.
Apparently he's coming out with another album. I don't know what the album title is going to be called, but of course, if he does actually come out with this album, that just further proves my point that he can never complete a project because he's just not there anymore. He's not there anymore. Just like I said in the bully reaction. That shit was so incomplete. It just wasn't, like, he's just not there anymore. He doesn't have the capacity to do any full project anymore. Clearly. He's just gone.
Last year, let's go song for song for song, and it only got half of me on it.
You did that in cancellation, like
it goes on for about an hour. I want to pull apart some of the main points he tries to make in this conversation with Ak. Now, one thing I want to get out of the way before I address anything Kanye says in this interview is this. Remember and let it be known that Kanye willingly and voluntarily decided to have this interview and conversation with a man who is recorded having a sexual conversation, a grooming type conversation with a minor. Again, remember.
That's y'all's people, man. That's y'all's people. Yeah, I'm pointing right at you. People in the comments, I know y'all gonna be commenting down, saying Kanye's just telling the truth. Whatever. What the fuck ever. That's y'all people, man.
Remember that before you hear Kanye say anything, which you know he's going to, about like children and concern for children and other people being creepy around children. And oh, save the children and think of the children and think of the Illuminati, sex trafficking, this, that, and that. You are literally helping to platform a man who had sexual conversations for the whole world to see with a child. The child...
And let alone put your daughter on the track with Diddy. You're lost.
Even called him out on social media. So already before we step into this conversation, we can like pretty much write off any sincerity behind those claims and arguments that Kanye is going to make here.
The whole plan is that y'all gonna pull my kids into y'all, whatever the word is, Illuminati system, and I don't have no say-so of my kids. And anybody close, whether it's the Jews, whether it's Cardi, anybody within my reach, I'm doing everything legally in my power, everything of my fucking mastermind. You get what I'm saying?
What he's doing here on this camera, in this interview, in this outfit, is for clout. It's for clout.
Absolutely.
But to sort of go over, I don't know, the major hits of this dialogue here.
And it's so weird. He doesn't need to do it. He doesn't need to do it. He's Kanye fucking West. He made Graduation. What else do you need to do? You don't have to do this.
That Kanye has with academics. Kanye makes it clear that he feels like his life is in danger and that he's under a lot of pressure right now because of what he's saying, what he's tweeting, what his beliefs are. It gets quite conspiratorial, and there's even a point at which he theorizes that the kid from Lincoln Park, or, you know, Chester Bennington, died because he was speaking on similar things, or was also sort of like, you know, handling himself in a way that was like a threat to the music industry or the powers that be.
I just know that the kid from Lincoln Park got killed for expressing some of these same truths.
So not only is he insinuating that Chester died because of that, but also that he's under like the same threat that Chester was because of how he's handling himself right now, which I don't know. If you're a Lincoln Park fan, that's probably not hitting in a very good way. He likens himself to P. Diddy, not only in ways that are personal, but, you know, kind of like lining up their situations respectively, essentially claiming that the only reason that Diddy is under fire right now and in so much trouble is because, you know, the industry and the powers that be are looking to get rid of him. The Cassie video is like 10 years old. Why is that even coming up now? I know people have all been in altercations with their girlfriends, so on and so forth.
I related to Puff, and then they pulled out a video with him and Cassie from 10 years ago. And then it made everybody be like, oh, you know, well, Puff's a woman beater, so he's the devil. He needs to be in jail, right? Meanwhile, I don't know somebody who hasn't gotten into an altercation with a girl.
That video was literally Diddy going at her with no...
Hey, listen, we all go out our girl every now and again, but we ain't beating the bitch up. Can we just say that? We not running around down the fucking hallway punching on the bitch. You know what I'm saying? Kicking her down. You kidding me? We all ain't doing that. We just yelling. There ain't no punching. No punching whatsoever. But okay.
Mercy whatsoever.
Right.
So for Kanye, and even though I would like to think this doesn't need to be said, I'm going to say it anyway, to sort of come onto this interview and act like this is just something everybody does and everybody experiences is pretty freaking twisted. Though at least he sort of acknowledges the fact that Playboy Cardi has similar allegations against him, which is something that, I don't know, I feel like more people generally should care about. But look, without parsing too much of what Kanye is trying to say during this first leg of the interview, let me paint it this way. The way he comes across with all of his answers and all of his statements is that he truly seems like at this point in his life, and even academics notices like, hey, don't you have like a bunch of assistants or people around everywhere, or, you know, people who are helping you, team, this, that?
No. You know why? Because they want to deal with your bullshit, man. That's why he doesn't have a lot of people around him.
Ye truly does come across right now as somebody who is just totally cut off, no contact. If anybody who has a personal relationship with him, a truly personal relationship with him, is talking with him at this point, I have no idea who it could possibly be. Or,
and if there are people that are talking to him personally, they're clearly not trying to help him. They clearly don't give a fuck about him. We've seen it time and time again. There's a bunch of yes men around Kanye West. All right. You can say something about a beat you don't like, he's gonna exile you. Just like in that one clip. I don't stop talking, he's gonna exile him. And no one called it out. I don't know.
Or what they could even be saying to him, because right now, the way he comes across in this interview is like he's a 400 subscriber webcam YouTuber who constantly makes videos about flat Earth and the Illuminati. He literally goes on about the Illuminati in the interview.
And that's a lot of his fans. A lot of his fans now. The new ones, I should say, not the old ones, because we know what to expect from Kanye when it comes to a good album. The new ones don't know what they want. All right? They just like incomplete shit. Unfinished work. Y'all, whatever. Whatever. Y'all eat it up. Not me. Not me. I clearly saw that because when I did the bully reaction, a lot of people were upset about me. Talking about the whole AI thing, which he used throughout the entire project. Did a Spanish song with AI on it. It's the worst thing ever. It's a hunk of shit. It's audible shit. Coursing through my ears. And y'all are like, this is the greatest thing ever. Shut the hell up. Don't talk about music. Ever. You just shut the hell up. And you watched the video.
Now, the thing with
Actually, you can comment. I don't care. You give me views anyway.
Kanye is that the more he talks, as crazy as he comes off sometimes, eventually does kind of get to the heart of what's actually bothering him. And he kind of does this when he brings up the fact that he doesn't own any or even half of like the intellectual property that is created off of the backs of his kids, like Northwest.
When my daughter was put on song, that's when I realized that I didn't own their name and likeness. So watch this. All the brands that I've made, I don't get the name and likeness ownership, or at least 50-50 with my kids. So how's it joint custody?
So if anything that she does in the world of music or fashion or whatever, he doesn't get any money or kickback from it. All of that presumably goes to Kim, and he seemingly is very burnt up about that. Now, if this were a very normal situation among two celebrity parents with their child, I guess I would sort of like understand this concern and gripe, as much as at my core I find it kind of disgusting as a celebrity to find out ways to monetize your children. I find that practice in and of itself pretty inexcusable, but in this case you're talking about it being between Kim Kardashian and a guy who repeatedly crashes out on social media posting swastikas over and over and over, which, like, I don't know, for the health, safety, and future of that child, maybe the money made off of the IP dealing directly with her is not safe in that guy's hands. He also at one point says that Kendrick Lamar is afraid of him posting a tweet or tweets about him due to how crazy that Jay-Z tweet was, I guess.
I want Kendrick to always remember that Jay-Z tweet before he ever crossed the line.
Okay.
I don't know what it is Ye thinks.
What the fuck Ye got? What's he got on Kendrick? Does he know something that we don't? Does he know something that we don't? What?
Thinks he could tweet about Kendrick that would like be so scary to him. Kanye right now, publicly speaking, is at such a low point in people's eyes. If Kendrick were to sort of like drop a diss track against him, I doubt
it. You already tweeted something about Jay-Z. Arguably, I wouldn't say bigger in the rap scene now, but just a bigger figure all around. So I don't know what's stopping you. What's stopping you? Because he hasn't said anything to you yet. Maybe he's just ignoring you. Treating you like a hobo on the street. That's just high out of his fucking mind. Just ignoring you, man. You ain't that important anymore. Clearly, you gotta do all these antics to even get some sort of relevancy. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, bro.
He would have to try very hard in order to turn the court of public opinion against him. As Kanye continues on, he tries to sort of like contextualize or justify the use of bigoted language that he's been engaging with, be it in his music or on social media. He even has a recent WW3 track that is out now on streaming, which is so ridiculous and offensive. I don't really know how it's staying up on streaming platforms right now.
That's what fucking kills me. I did a reaction to a Meat Canyon video and that shit got taken out, but that shit's still up. My reaction to World War III is still up. I don't get it. Whatever.
Song sucks. I don't really want to get into it. It's not worth my or your time. I'm fast forwarding a bit here, but there's even a point at which he's like explaining this sort of like hype cycle of rap artists that the music industry is sort of like controlling behind the scenes to have like smaller artists and hand them over to Live Nation and so on and so forth. And he's doing it all in this sort of like white business guy voice.
And then we're going to get a bunch of small artists, and then, you know, you'll be able to make your money off of that. And then, you know, if we take, oh, Cardi's doing good, we'll make him take the blue pill. We'll have him rap about scam.
That's his Jewish voice, by the way. That's his Jewish voice.
And while, again, I feel like, and this is what makes Kanye compelling to some people, you know, there is like a bit of truth there in terms of like observing business incentives of the record labels. Sure, like it's easier to exploit a bunch of younger, smaller artists who have very brief hype cycles. But again, simultaneously, he's painting this as if it's like some huge secret and grand conspiracy, and that the reason he is becoming irrelevant and he's enemy number one in the music industry is because, yeah, Kanye's too old. Can't have these rappers hanging around for too long or else they'll start thinking things and acting out and so on and so forth. Meanwhile, some of the biggest artists in the industry, like Kendrick, Drake, J. Cole, are all sitting on like 10 plus years of music industry experience.
And that's a whole nother conversation, because you know our younger artists are either dying or they just don't have the star power to keep a long career going. I think the only person I can think of right now that's really like keeping the momentum up is Playboi Carti. But that's just recency bias. I can't think of anybody else right now. But Playboi Carti is probably, from my generation, is probably the only one that's keeping up. Tyler the Creator. I could say Tyler the Creator too. A couple of other underground artists, but they're underground. But you know, I'm talking about mainstream mostly. I can't think of anybody else right now. But you know.
Experience, and their popularity isn't dying out anytime soon. And on top of it, artists who are even older than them, like Nas, for example, has been having an incredible run with his new records, and he's like roundly respected in the music industry, even won a Grammy off of like one of the King's Disease records. Also, Andre 3000, like people would love a new rap album from Andre. I mean,
Andre ain't doing that, man. He's playing the flute. Leave him alone. Let him do his thing. Let him do his thing, man. Andre does what he wants to do. I ain't mad at it. If he's at peace, I'm at peace. You know what I'm saying?
Cool that he did that jazz thing, but like nobody's telling that guy he can't come out with a new record because he's like too old or too wise or too whatever. There's literally a point in this conversation where he claims that he essentially ended Frank Ocean's career, and him having come out with music that is similar but superior to what Frank Ocean did on records like Blonde is the reason Frank hasn't come out with any new music.
Like when I made Moon, it basically ended Frank Ocean's career. He ain't have a song since then. You know, sipping some wine. Like,
he's so far up his own ass. No one's told him that Kanye, maybe I don't like this song. No one has told him no in a long time. Just got a bunch of yes men around him. What's going on?
I wanna go to the moon. Any genre of music that anyone has, I make a better version of it.
Yeah, Kanye just being such a supremely talented artist is the reason Frank Ocean hasn't come out with any new shit. There's another point in the interview where Kanye says something that, frankly, in my opinion, is horrible. And that...
What song was that? On Donda. Was it Keep My Spirit Alive? With Conway and the West Side Gun. I couldn't think of his name. And who else was on? Who was singing? I forgot who was singing, but he took their vocals off and he put his own over. He put his own vocals over. I can't even think of his name. He hasn't been around for a while. I ain't gonna lie. I don't know where he went, but I can't even think of his name. The singer. I can't. What is his fucking name? I'll remember it at the end of this video. I guarantee.
That's that he didn't even want to have kids with Kim, and that he ended up doing so because it was like God's plan.
And it's gotta be crazy. It's gotta be crazy to be Kanye's son or daughters. It's gotta be so crazy. You're gonna look back at this when you're like 18 years old, and you're gonna be like, "What the fuck was wrong with my dad?" And who knows where Kanye's gonna be when they turn 18 years old. It might be a whole nother. I'm not trying to put this in the air, but if y'all remember Etika, he was kind of crashing out like this a little bit too, and people were constantly making fun of him, and no one came for his help. And he ultimately deleted himself, but it's starting to look like that for Kanye too. And I don't know who's gonna be able to do it. I surely can't. I ain't got the star power. I ain't got the money, and I'm not in those circles. So I'm hoping somebody comes out and helps him and gets him the help that he needs. But I can't do nothing. But there's people around him, I'm sure, that can, and I'm hoping that they do. But right now, it's not looking like they ain't doing the goddamn thing. They ain't doing shit.
Like, imagine your children either now or when they're older having to hear their dad say that. Exactly. I mean, at least he's acting like a psychopath and wearing a Klansman outfit, so, you know, you can't exactly say he's in his right state of mind while saying this, but still, nobody wants to
some
hear
fucking
that
boots.
or think that. Plus, I mean, I just hate the way that God and Christianity are sort of incorporated into this convo by Kanye. Does it look like what this man is doing is God's plan? Does it look like God planned this? Is this what it looks like when Jesus has taken the wheel? There's another super standout moment in the interview where Ack, to his credit, does actually push back on Kanye a little bit and question him on his motivations when it came to him tweeting about his past friend personally and in the fashion world, Virgil. And despite the public understanding that like they had a falling out and drifted apart, and you know, toward the end of Virgil's life, they weren't as close as they were at one point, people are still wondering, like, you know, why would you go out of your way to say that? Like, what exactly is the motivation there? What is the reason?
Why say fuck Virgil after he passed? I think a lot of people feel like, you know, he's not here to defend himself. Feels like you still have a little bit of animosity there.
I'm evil.
He thinks he's evil. He's just a dumbass. He's just a dumbass.
Now, how much of this is seriously the case and how much of it in his own mind is an act in order to sort of like play into his need and desire to go against the grain, go against what he perceives as like control of him and his actions and his speech, what he perceives as, you know, being like a pressure he needs to be a contrarian to at all times. Regardless of what the motivation is there, it doesn't matter because the actions and behavior are the same, meaning the actions and behavior of a terrible person. He also gives DJ Academics toward the end of the video a White Lives Matter t-shirt. He also claims that a lot of his motivations behind embracing the swastika stuff and the Nazi stuff is that he is at odds with Jewish individuals in the music and the entertainment industry, and he sees them as exploiting him, exploiting Black artists, making money off of their pain. So in response to that, he wants to wear and show around their pain through this hateful symbolism. Pause, because I do want to make one thing clear. Kanye's embrace of Nazism and right-wing talking points does go beyond just like mere trolling or going against the grain. Like on numerous occasions, he has platformed and cavorted with numerous...
Dear God, man, look at these list of people: Candace Owens, Nick Fuentes. These are, you know, there. I'm telling you, there were a lot of Hispanics in my last Kanye video talking the utmost shit, and this is their savior right here, Nick Fuentes. I don't know, and Milo, whatever. Stefan yabba do. I don't know what his last name is. Him too. It's just all. Sneeko is, you know, Sneeko's just a dumbass. We've seen that already. There's no coming back for him. By the way, fuck him.
Right wing or even, you know, Nazi alt-right figures. And there's multiple instances of evidence where he's like clearly doing the research in terms of like going down the rabbit hole of Jewish conspiracy, and
no one's gonna take you seriously. You're a meme at this point. You are a meme. I'm gonna keep making videos. I don't care. Your fans, they give me the views, bro. But Kanye, you yourself is a meme. And it's sad to see. You had such a good career going, and you ruined it.
Beyond. So again, as much as we know Kanye to be a contrarian, as much as he tries to justify his rhetoric and his actions with, you know, this just being like a statement on his exploitation and so on and so forth, like clearly on some level, he is feeding into and adhering to some of the worst elements of the most...
Look at the demographic. Look at the demographic. Look at it. Look at the demographic. And they eating that shit up.
Fascist sectors of right-wing thought. Yeah, this interview is demented, capital D demented. I'm not really sure if there's anything else that I can or I need to say in regards to this conversation, honestly. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about any of this. I'm sure you will. Over here next to my head is another video you can check out. Hit that up.
All right, that was the video. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Kanye fans, I know y'all gonna be upset. I don't care. Thank you for watching. Go ahead and dislike the video. You know, dislike, comment, subscribe if you want to. I know you're probably not because you probably even get to the end of this video. To be honest, y'all's brains don't work like that. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. Who actually did make it to the end of the video? I appreciate y'all. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.